Right then. You're not going to believe this. And I don't know if this situation is my fault. I don't see how it could be because I don't think I would make this mistake. But I'm still talking about this refrigerator issue with this hot doctor lady, right? So, remember I had to go back to the shop and get the compressor. Because I forgot that the other compressor was burned up and I was going to put another compressor in it and the correct main board. So that didn't take long to bomb back down to the shop and get the compressor, go back up there. I had the compressor swapped out in about 30 minutes. It all went well, no leaks. Bing, 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 bing. The process was good. Everything was great. The system vacuumed down to 300 microns in no time because I already cleaned it out the last time I was there and it hadn't run, so there was no contaminants. I plugged the unit in. The compressor didn't start. And the main board threw another 3-blink error code. And this lady was so excited. Oh, finally I'm going to get a refrigerator that works. I've been down without a refrigerator for 6 months, blah, blah, blah. And I'm laying on the floor and I'm going, oh, no. Now what? What could it be? A broken wire in the harness inside the cabinet? What? I got to call Techline. So I call Techline and I get this chick named Nikki. Now, Nikki is normally in a good mood. I've dealt with Nikki before. She used to be a pleasant person to deal with. The last couple of times I've got her on the Techline board, she has not been pleasant. She's been curt, terse, short, the opposite of who she used to be. So who knows what's going on in her personal life that is affecting her job performance. But I ran the whole story by her. Here's another thing I found out. The last phone call I made when I was here, where I was literally on the phone with Techline for 45 minutes, laying on the lady's kitchen floor with a multimeter, testing the compressor, testing voltages, all of that time and that phone call never got registered with LG Techline. The guy never filed a TCC number for that call. So Nikki's like, no, I said, all right, so this call has a case file number on it. I don't remember what the TCC number is, but for the case file, but you should be able to look at the serial number and pull up the history on this. And she goes, yeah, I did. There's no history on this. I'm like, no, there's no paper trail. What happened? Well, the last tech you talked to didn't put in any notes. There's no notes or anything. I'm like, no, come on. Because I'm trying to angle to get this refrigerator exchanged for this lady because she's gone 6 months without a refrigerator. Her psychotic ex-boyfriend loaned her a different refrigerator, and he, I don't know, I don't even want to get into that story. She's going through some hell right now with this very possessive, sociopathic, narcissistic criminal, basically, from the story I heard. But anyway, I digress. There's no case history on this. So I don't have a leg to stand on. So what Nikki said was, read me the part number that's on the compressor. So I did, FLA 1501 NBA. She goes, you have the wrong compressor for the fridge. What? She said, yeah, that correct main board that you have in the fridge now, will not run that compressor. Yeah. This hot doctor lady did not want to hear that. So now if she's going to try to call LG, get some recourse, blah, blah, it's a shit show. I got to do what I got to do, and that is order the correct compressor, go back out there again, and this will be the third time that I've hit these pipes in this refrigerator with a 5400 degree torch. And when you start brazing that much on metal, take it apart, use the torch to take it apart, put it back together, re-braze the fittings, use the torch to take it apart, re-braze the fit. You weaken the metal significantly, and you're going to have leaks that you're never going to be able to get rid of. It's a nightmare waiting to happen. Fortunately, I'm a good enough welder that I think I'll be able to do it without a problem. But I have confidence in myself and my skills. But it's getting dicey. We're getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to weld on this machine anymore. And then what? So I made sure I got the correct part number for the compressor. And I'll be going back out there again. I don't mind. She's pleasant on the eyes. But I don't like seeing her frustration in this process being dragged out. And she knows it's no fault of my own. I think that when I was here the last time, I think because I was on the phone with Techline. But I already had the compressor in. So I think before, when I installed the compressor the first time, somebody else looked up the part number for that compressor. It wasn't me. Because I don't think my LG app was working on my phone that allowed me to look up the part number. Yeah. I wouldn't make a mistake like that. Oh, man. Not good. So anyway, I'm finally done. Heading back to the shop. It's going on 4 o'clock. It's a full day after all. It's a full day after all. So, I'm going to go home, reheat the leftovers from last night, have that for supper, and try to have enough ambition because it's pretty warm. Let's see. It's 81 degrees. I'm not a fan. To go out in the garage and start to get some stuff done in the garage, in the cleanup process and the organizing process, so that I can get, when my dad comes, we can work on the shop. I think what I might end up doing is I might end up rolling Thundertone, the small Argo. I might roll him outside and put him next to Thunder Tank and cover him up with a tarp and leave him sit outside for a while because that'll open up bay number 2. I've got some metal racking in there that is kind of funny. Scrunchy likes good stuff, nice stuff, and new stuff. So we're in the shop, we're looking at the stuff that's got to be done to start the shop build project. And she's looking at that metal racking I got for free by Sanford and Son from the restaurant next to our store in Central. They threw it out. And it's all grimy and full of food and stuff like this. And she's like scrunching her face all up, looking at it. And she said, "What are you doing with this?" And I said, I planned on cleaning it up with the pressure washer and putting it down in the boiler room for storage. Because I want all the electronic plug-in countertop appliances like my griddle, the deep fat fryer, the Miracle Oven, the George Foreman grill. I want all that stuff when it's not being used stored in the boiler room, nice and neat, on shelves where I can grab it easily. My mushroom dehydrator, things like this. I want everything in that boiler room crisp, clean, and organized. And so I said, that's what I got the rack for free. I plan on using it. She goes, I'll buy you a new rack for the boiler room, so you have something nice in there. So this, I'm not asking for this stuff. Let's get that out there. I'm not a gold digger here. I'm not dropping hints. Boy, it sure be nice to have some nice, clean-looking racking in the boiler room. No. She's making these offers and suggestions on her own, which is straight up awesome. Contributing to the team. Yeah. She has the funding, the finances to be able to do this because she has a professional career, works a full-time job, gets healthy bonuses, so, and she's willing to contribute to the mission. Mia couldn't. Straight up couldn't, because she was living on SSDI. So, as a team, a cohesive team life environment, it's much more, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Well, let's take this weekend, for example. We stopped, I had to go to the hardware store and get the junction boxes that I needed to do that electrical work at the turn. While we were there, the hardware store had their fall decorations out. And I saw this autumn tree. It has orange leaves, maple leaves, and it's lit up with these little tiny LED fairy lights, they're called. And it has a realistic looking tree trunk and all this stuff. It stands about 4.5, 5 foot high. And I said out loud, I wasn't hinting, I wasn't anything like that. I said out loud, wow, that would look so cool. I love that kind of stuff, you know, the fall decorations. I don't like Halloween decorations because I don't believe in Halloween. That's a pagan, satanic holiday. So you're not going to see witches, you're not going to see ghosts, you're not going to see crap like that at my house. But autumn decorations like pumpkins, you know, sprigs of corn stalks, Thanksgiving themed decorations, stuff like that, yes. So I'm oohing and on over this tree, and she looks at the price tag, and it was like $170 or $158 or something. I'm like, oh, nope, too rich for my blood. She's like, I'll get it. And she bought it for the lake house. And it's now sitting out on the gazebo, in the corner of the gazebo in front of the house, and it looks straight up awesome. Cozy, yeah, wow. But that's what I mean. She's generous with her finances, and she nowhere near has to be. We're just dating, right? We're not married. She doesn't have to do any of this stuff. So I'm just floored, you know, by the generosity and the willingness to contribute to the team and things like that. We had a discussion about this because I had a theory as to why we didn't work out the first time when we bought the house together, and the whole thing exploded into a hate-filled. She finally told people in her circle who thought all of the hate and the vitriol was just coming from my side of the fence. She finally told them that, oh no, I was being vicious towards him as well. You So they're they know it wasn't just a one-way street during the battle. And her too. She can get nasty when shit goes bad. So it was both of us sniping at each other. But anyway, she's being generous here. So we were talking, and I said to her, I think I know why we didn't work out the first time, because when we bought the house together, number one, that was stressful. Number two, I had vision of what that house will look like when it's done. I'm a visionary. When it comes to projects, when it comes to vehicles, I can see what it's going to look like in my mind's eye before I do it. And it usually 99.9999999% of the time turns out exactly how I envisioned it. And in my opinion, and others' opinions, it's pretty awesome. Right? Right. So we were butting heads over the interior decorating and the remodeling ideas of the lake house. And she was strong-willed about that whole situation because she was co-owner of the lake house. So then when it all fell apart and I got the house solely in my name and I own it now, she's backed off. So when I have an idea about something, I'm still going to put in that knee wall down in the lounge. I can see it in my mind. It's going to look awesome. It's going to separate the kitchen from the lounge, but it's not going to totally close it off as a complete wall would. It'll be about thigh high or waist high, and then there'll be pillars made out of tree trunks to separate the two areas. So you're not looking at the back of the recliners. It's going to be great. But during the first go-around, she was co-owner of the house. So when I had an idea, if she didn't like the idea, she was very adamant about not liking the idea, and we were butting heads. I'm going to do it. No, you're not. I'm co-owner of the house. You're not doing it. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Now that it's all mine, she's dialed it back. And the response I get is, well, it's your house. Do with it what you want, And then now it's become, she's not a visionary. So now it's become a case of, I do the project, it turns out awesome, and she goes, oh wow, I like that, that's nice, that's cool, I like that, I really like that. She's been doing that with the trailer, all the work that I've been doing on the trailer. She has no idea what I'm talking about, no idea what it's going to look like when it's done, but I do. And then when it's done, she goes, oh, I really like that. So when she came down and saw the countertop with the decal on it, oh, I really like that. That looks cool. That's how this relationship's going to be. I'm going to have an idea. I'm going to express the idea. She won't be able to visualize it. I'm going to do the idea, and then she's going to go, yeah, okay, that's cool. I like that. So now that I'm sole owner of the house, the relationship, we're not having any problems. No conflict. And we discussed this. I expressed my opinion last night about how I thought the situation was that caused the problems in the first place. And it morphed into an almost argument. She was getting upset. And I was teasing her. I'm like, well, you got a lot more stuff you got to pack up into your little car now if you're going to run off the reservation. You're going to have to make 3 trips or rent a truck. But anyway, what she wants is if we're going to be together and she's going to cohabitate in the lake house, which I would like, she wants to be able to have a say in some stuff. Because she has stuff. She has 27 possessions. I give her shit about it. And she says, that's not really what she has, but it's a running joke. So, I plan on getting rid of some stuff Well, that'll get her down to 17 items. I think I could fit her 17 items somewhere in the house. So I told her, I said, all right, if you want this to work and you think it'll work and you're striving for it to work, I'll give you free reign of the master bathroom upstairs. You can decorate it, design it, however you see fit, however you want. That's your project. And there'll probably be other areas that she has an idea on or she wants to do something with, and I'll go, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's okay. Let's do it. So it's changed. And she has respect now for the fact that it's my house. And I call the shots. But if it ever becomes a situation where we cohabitate, she wants to be able to have a say in things. She wants to be able to express her opinions and not have me be all possessive and strong-armed. Nope, it's my house. We're going to do things my way. You know what I mean? And that's okay with me. I'm okay with that. So, yeah. It got a little tense last night because she was getting worried that even if we did cohabitate, she wouldn't have a say in anything. And that's not how I'm going to be. No. I wasn't that way with Mia. I'm not going to be that way with her. So, yeah. So that's where we're at. I'm back at the shop now. I'm pretty sure Squatch didn't get any time to work on that chair. It'd be nice to have that in the lounge Wednesday when Scrunch comes up, spends the night, so she has a comfortable place to sit. But I'm not so sure it's going to happen because Squatch is running furniture repair service calls tomorrow and Wednesday. So, but I would like it in the house, working and set up when my dad gets here. Yeah. Because right now the upper levels of the house are not usable for anything other than sitting out on the screen porch and sleeping in the master bedroom. Which reminds me, before I cut out of here, I got to go in and talk to one of the sales girls and find out about a bed. I got to buy a queen size bed for the guest bedroom. Find out what they have, the cheapest they have, and pull the trigger on that. So, all right, we'll talk to you soon.